think, but it's easy when you're by my side. No point in calling, you just have to see the fundamentals of our love tonight. Cause I've been looking at a photograph of you, and I've been thinking about all the ways you move. This isolation got me feeling like a movie, my love. Yeah, when I wake up, I feel empty, not beside you. My whole life been searching just to find you. This quarantine, it hasn't got the right to keep us apart. Killing time, we got nowhere to be. You're sending messages I can't ignore. No contemplating, come here close to me. I'm bored at home, can't leave the house no more. But I've been looking at a photograph of you, and I've been thinking about all the ways you move. This isolation got me feeling like I'm losing my love. Yeah, when I wake up, I feel empty, not beside you. My whole life been searching just to find you. This quarantine, it hasn't got the right to keep us apart. You, when I wake up, I feel empty, not beside you. My whole life been searching just to find you. This quarantine, it hasn't got the right to keep us apart.
Some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
Been friends since 1995. Growing up, same street, you, me, my ride or die. All the years, they would grow us apart, yeah. Moved away, but you're still in my heart, yeah. Call you up, how you been, can we play a rewind? Yeah, those other guys are true. They don't care, no, like I do. I've been waiting on you. Oh, oh. I've been waiting on you for so long, and it's killing me to see you there with a broken heart. If you knew, I've been waiting on you. Oh, oh. I've been waiting on you. Coming like a wrecking ball, crying on me, saying how they make you feel so small. When the rain couldn't get any clearer, I'm the one holding up all your mirrors, baby. Hurry up, back to me, why'd you ever move on, yeah. Yeah, you're making me confused. I'm the one that you should choose. I've been waiting on you. Oh, oh. I've been waiting on you for so long, and it's killing me to see you there with a broken heart. If you knew, I've been waiting on you. Oh, oh. I've been waiting on you.
Good morning and welcome to the Real Gypsy Soul channel. I'm also over on the Rose and Thistle right now, putting some content over there on that channel. I'm able to access it here from my studio, my StreamYard studio, but I can only get to my Real Housewives and Cats and Dogs on my phone. I gotta add this one to it. But anyway, hope everybody's having a great morning. It's Friday. We made it through another week. And I have to tell you what I've been dealing with. I think I've told you all about the polycystic ovarian syndrome and endometriosis that I was diagnosed with. And so they sent me for a pelvic MRI yesterday to kind of see what else is going on in my lady parts, because it's causing me a lot of pain, and it has for years. And as mothers, we kind of put our health off on hold for the kids, and then there's the husband, and then there's other things that are more important. And so I've dealt with it for several years, like a lot of years. And I decided now that we just have the one at home, it's time for me to find out what's going on and why I've had so much pain my entire life with it. So again, they sent me to get a pelvic MRI yesterday. And let me just say, it was comical. And I say that because I could not believe how archaic the whole thing was. Now, I've had them before, mind you. This one, they said, was their worst machine. Thanks a lot. It looks all high tech, and I've been in tanning beds my whole life. And so getting into the cylinder part of it didn't freak me out. That did when they did the MRI of my brain and they found the lesions on my brain. That freaked me out. But this, I just could not believe. Okay, they put the what do you call it, in your ears so you can't hear anything. What are those called? Plugs, earplugs. And then they put headphones on so that I could listen to John Cougar Mellencamp, who I had ironically just watched on the Joe Rogan show. And I was like, wow, I've got him in my car. I picked up a used CD because I've got a CD player in my car. And that was one of the ones I lucked up on and grabbed for 99 cents at our local thrift store. But anyhow, it was just sort of ironic. I had them on in my car, and now they're putting them on in this MRI. Okay, it's something spiritual happening between me and John Cougar Mellencamp. But anywho, and I couldn't hear the music. Let me just say that. And the machine was ridiculous. All I could think about was a PTS moment for my daughter, who's deceased now, but she had pneumonia when she was about 6 years old, maybe 5. It was probably 5. And they put her in one of those, and they strap a child's arms together and legs together before they put you in it. I had to grab my coffee. And excuse me, hold on just one second. Clear my throat. Only because I'm live. Anyway, so that was crazy. That was the brunt of the like 1988, 89, 90, 91, when MRI machines were still called CAT scans, I think. Anyway, so I was having flashbacks of that, thinking, my God, I could not imagine a child having to sit through this. And they were like, oh, it's only going to be 10 minutes. It had to have been 45 because I listened to several songs in between the sounds of this machine. And I joked with them when they pulled me out. I thought, oh, it's over with. They said, oh, are you ready for your solution now? I'm going to put it down now. Now you're going to feel a little warm. And you might feel like you got to pee. But now it's because it's ball in your hand. Before you pee on our machine. See? And I thought, oh, it's over with. She said, no, I'm getting ready to give you your solution now. I thought, geez, I've already been in this thing already freaking 45 minutes. It's going to be another 15. You can just hold on no time. I thought, I could not imagine someone with any kind of anxiety about being closed up like that. But I joked with her and said, oh, it's okay. I had a washing machine that was sort of like this. I thought to my son, I said, I ought to find an MRI sound simulator. And, like they do when studying what schizophrenics hear on the daily when they're in psychosis, they hear this auditory hallucination. And then you're able to sort of empathize. I thought that's what I should do. And I should send it to Elon Musk and say, come on now, man. If you can go up on the moon and create a whole life on Mars, we can quiet these machines so they don't sound so archaic. Just my 2 cents. So I'm waiting to hear back on my results, and such is life. That was just it was comical. I thought, this has got to be a joke. There's a camera somewhere that's laughing. This is just ridiculous. Anyway, they said, well, this is one of our older machines here. Wow. The one that I got in for my head scan, it was loud and all, but it wasn't like this. This was ridiculous. But anyhow, when you go in, it's like an assembly line. And so you're just like a number that's told to get in scrubs, put all your stuff in a locker, and get ready for your IV. And getting an IV for me is squirmy anyway. Sometimes I faint. And yeah, the one time I went for my MR brain scan last summer, I had a panic attack in it, and I had to stop. And they were like, well, we'll bring it back, and it's okay if you eat a gummy. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to have to, because I could not do it. So here we are. Hope you all are having a great, a great Friday. And so I was playing around with this, trying to figure out how to make a overlay, and I don't know how to make one. I have come to the resolution that I've downloaded everything that I can download, and I still cannot freaking figure out how to make an overlay. I've got these, but they're more like borders. It's not really like an overlay. So like when I play a video, I want to be able to use an overlay, and this doesn't fit the entire screen like it should. So I got to keep playing around with it. Those are pretty though. I like it. Okay. I don't know that it's going to serve the purpose, because when we play other people's content, I like to have my my overlay over it, because it's sort of what you do here. Anywho, so we'll go back over here to some of the things I wanted to talk about today. We'll start off with some politics. Do y'all want some politics first? I want to see this real quick. Let's share the screen here.
Venezuela opposition leader Maria Machado gifted her Nobel Peace Prize to President Trump, handing over the award during her visit to the White House yesterday. NBC's Alice Barr reports from Washington.
Closing out an eventful week on the world stage, President Trump is now in possession of Nobel Prize presented to him by Venezuelan opposite Maria Corina Machado.
And a recognition for his unique commitment with our freedom.
She told Fox News the gift is on behalf of the people of Venezuela.
He deserves it.
The president called it a wonderful gesture of mutual respect, though it is symbolic, with the Nobel Institute saying the prize cannot be transferred. Machado's visit comes amid uncertainty over her role in Venezuela's future. Following the U.S. ouster of authoritarian leader Nicolas Maduro, President Trump said he did not believe Machado had the respect to lead. Florida Republican lawmakers hoping she'll prove otherwise.
She's the legitimate leader of the opposition in Venezuela. She proved it. She earned it.
President Trump has said the U.S. would run Venezuela until a safe transition can be made, and praised interim president and Maduro loyalist Delcy Rodriguez.
She's somebody that we've worked with very well.
Citing her support this week of a U.S. sale of Venezuelan oil, while U.S. forces seized another oil tanker linked to Venezuela that Homeland Security says was illegally defying sanctions. All that as President Trump is closely monitoring tensions in Iran, noting the Iranian regime backed off planned executions of protesters after the president warned the U.S. could take action. U.S.-based human rights activists say more than 2,600 people have died in the crackdown on anti-government protesters, and the White House says all options remain on the table. As he weighs his options, President Trump told his national security team that if he chose military action, it would need to be a swift and decisive blow to the regime, not a sustained war. That's according to 4 sources, including a U.S.
Okay, I'm not sure if this layover is going to work or not. Let me see what else I want to watch here. I know that I had it in my history. I wanted to... Give me just a second. I just played you that one. Give me a second. I'm looking for something. Let's see what this is about here. Yeah, I won't put you through that. I just wanted to see if they'd stopped like they said that they had. Doesn't look like it.
And now President Trump is threatening to deploy the U.S. military here. Trump posted on Truth Social saying if Minnesota doesn't stop professional agitators from attacking ICE agents, he will institute the Insurrection Act. Alex Jokic is live outside the Whipple Federal Building right now to explain what that means. Al?
Where the president can deploy the military on U.S. things to control. As you mentioned, we have seen some confrontations out here in the last few hours with federal on the crowd at times, but so far, no word from the White House on whether they will move forward on invoking the Insurrection Act. After a tense night in Minneapolis.
Can y'all see
And
that
what the
okay?
police
I know
chief
I need
called
to fix it.
unlawful protests.
I'm not sure what's going to happen in the next, month, 2 months.
A new warning from the president about the Insurrection Act
I haven't heard of it, no.
is leaving Minnesotans
I mean, does it switch from ICE to the military?
with questions.
How many times in history has it been used?
Not many.
Political science expert Larry Jacobs says the Insurrection Act hasn't been invoked since the Rodney King riots in Los Angeles back in 1992. It gives the president power to deploy troops for domestic law enforcement, tapping either the U.S. military or the National Guard.
How quickly could something like this happen?
If the president decided to authorize the Insurrection Act, it could happen very fast. He would simply sign the papers. and then the action would start to move forward.
So what would that look like this time here in Minnesota?
We don't know the exact contours of what the president's use of troops would look like.
Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem called some of the clashes in Minnesota, quote, violent, saying she talked to the president about the Insurrection Act Thursday morning.
This president makes fully informed decisions and utilizes his authorities when it's appropriate.
And while some here at home are worried about what that could mean,
I think it's just going to escalate more if you try to get more military folks out here.
Jacobs says the state doesn't really have a say.
If Governor Walz or legislative leaders here in Minnesota disagreed, there is nothing they can do.
So today we asked the Minnesota National Guard if they have gotten any orders yet. They told us, quote, the Minnesota National Guard has not been tasked with any federal mission requirements internal to the state of Minnesota. Of course, though, we will continue to follow this story and keep you updated. Live in Minneapolis, Alex Jokic, 5 Eyewitness News.
Do it like that. See how that looks. Comments. See how this looks. Will it fit there? Yeah, okay. Okay, so let's we want to share screen again. Thank you for hanging out with me, guys. I know you can be anywhere, but you're here. I appreciate it.
Don't forget, can you guys drop the Venmo, please? Guys, tell them we need respirators. We need respirators.
Back, all the way back. Let's go, move back.
Where's my Michael? Where's my Michael?
This is ridiculous. I don't understand why they're taking so long. So this is after they threatened insurrection.
I can't breathe. I can't breathe. I can't fucking breathe.
There's 6 of you.
I can't fucking breathe. Hi.
Back up.
Hello, Car. Good to see you.
Knock it up.
Yes, this is Minnesota.
Back up. Back up. Please back up. Please back up. Thank you. Please back up. Keep backing up. Thank you. Go ahead. If you're not part of the class, you're in the ring. Go ahead.
I'm allowed to be there.
Go ahead.
This is a protest. This is a protest.
Go ahead.
Why are you telling me to go home? How about you go home? How about you go home? This is go home. How about that? I'm moving to How about going home?
I don't really see that he has a choice.
Are you packed? Are you packed? Are you part of the pack? Is he packed?
I'm gonna grab some more coffee. I'll be right back. Y'all hang out.
At this point, you're probably not avoiding therapy because of stigma. You're probably avoiding therapy because you've become very good at coping. So good that you stop noticing how heavy everything feels. As a therapist who goes to therapy herself, it's important to remember that your mind and body hold on to every stressor you don't have time to process. That stress shows up as exhaustion, irritability, shutdown, or feeling overloaded in a way you just can't explain. Therapy can help you start releasing it. Now, one barrier for many people is knowing how to choose the right therapist. BetterHelp
making any payments to sanctuary cities or states having sanctuary cities because they do everything possible to protect criminals at the expense of American citizens, and it breeds fraud and crime and all of the other problems that come. So we're not making any payment to anybody that supports sanctuary cities.
U.S. President Donald Trump said starting February 1st, he will deny federal funding to any states that are home to local governments resisting his administration's immigration policies, expanding on previous threats to cut off resources to the so-called sanctuary cities themselves. Such an action could have far-reaching impacts across the U.S., potentially.
And welcome back, everyone, here to Live Now from Fox. I'm your host, Mike Bache. Always great to be with you as we continue to roll on. All right, our next story takes us out to New York City, where the mayor, Zohran Mamdani, doubling down on the city's sanctuary policies. And we know President Trump isn't going to like that. So let's right now get more details on this. Fox 5 New York's Morgan McKay joining us here with the very latest.
Hey, Mike. So Mayor Zoran Mamdani today said that he and President Donald Trump have texted back and forth, quote, a handful of times since his meeting with the president this last November. The mayor says that he texted the president after he threatened to pull federal funding and said he hasn't heard back yet from the president. Now, President Trump yesterday.
Y'all hit that like button for me, okay?
Said that he is threatening to pull federal funding from sanctuary
Appreciate y'all
cities
being here
and
with me.
states that have sanctuary cities starting on February 1st. The president did not give any details on what sort of funding would be affected when he made the announcement, but said it would be significant. This isn't the first time that the Trump administration has made an effort to freeze federal funding for certain programs. Governor Kathy Hochul said the state is ready to take the Trump administration to court if they try to cut funding. Mayor Zoran Mamdani said that he's also discussing the city's legal options with his corporation counsel.
Take these kinds of threats seriously. Any cut in funding would have a significant impact on the city's ability to not only fulfill the budget that it has today, but also to fulfill an agenda that would ensure that more New Yorkers can afford to stay in the city. And I am proud of the team that we have ready at the hand to be able to respond to these kinds of threats.
Now, Mayor Mamdani also announcing today that the city has now opened its enrollment portal for 3K and pre-K students for this upcoming fall school year. Mamdani blamed the former Adams administration for not only cutting funding for the program, but also for the lack of outreach and advertising to parents about the importance of early childhood education. The application portal will be open through February 27th for parents of kids turning 3 or 4 years old in 2026. Governor Hochul has included funding for the city to expand the pre-K and 3K program in her budget this year. And Mamdani says this means that there will be a seat for every pre-K and 3K student in the neighborhood that they live in.
This is a key part of what will be the focus of our work, and also why we are so proud of the commitment that we secured from the state of the $1.21 billion that were committed. More than $100 million was committed specifically to fixing 3K.
Too quiet. Turn your sound from 100% to...
There's so much happening in Minnesota right now between the interactions of ICE agents and people protesting their presence there to the fatal confrontation of that woman and ICE. We also are following this story of widespread theft of federal funds and corruption by individuals, particularly within the Somali community. This has put those from that community in the spotlight, whether they're involved in the situation in Minnesota or not. We have many who live here right in our own backyard. Now there are visa restrictions that have just been imposed by the Trump administration, and our Kevin Stewart is following reaction from those Somalis who live here in Georgia to what's happening in Minnesota and these new visa restrictions. Kevin?
Yeah, Tom, you know, the TPS revocation, people who are Somali nationals who are here under TPS status, they must leave the country by March 17th or apply for asylum. So, you know, this is a very uneasy time in this community. That community is all over the metro, but primarily in DeKalb and Gwinnett County. We estimate, according to analysts, we're talking maybe about 9,000 people. And when you try to talk to folks about this, this is a very uncomfortable thing. Many people do not want to go on camera and talk about this issue, but we were able to talk to two people who are familiar with the community. We talked to an immigration attorney and a college professor, a Spelman College professor who is a political scientist, but she takes a look at and studies refugee and forced migration studies. And she's actually written a book looking at Somali immigrants in the South, particularly here in Metro Atlanta. And they say they're not surprised we had a hard time talking to folks, but they have been able to shed some light historically about TPS and the community. TPS was created in 1990, and Somalis have had on and off again status since 1991. I want you to take a listen first to the immigration attorney, Chuck Cook.
This is interesting.
Created by Congress back in 1990 to give the president the ability to allow individuals who are in the United States to stay here for a period of time when there was natural disasters in their country or civil war or war of some kind. And presidents have used it for dozens of countries over the last 36 years. It did reach its peak under the Biden administration, mostly because so did international civil strife and disasters. But the Trump administration has been gradually ending TPS for virtually every country except El Salvador.
So why is this controversial if it is only supposed to be a temporary status?
Somalia has been on and off temporary protected status for decades, honestly, because the country's a wreck, right? The country's an absolute wreck. It's the idea now that Somalia is perfectly safe for people to go back to. It's a joke. We all know it's a joke. We know that this is a political move.
The idea that all Somalis are pirates and all Somalis are terrorists and all Somalis are criminals is an old, unfortunate narrative that continues to hinder the broader Somali communities across the United States, and certainly the ones here in the Southeast. And as I mentioned, in Clarkston, Georgia, in DeKalb County, in Gwinnett County. So the Somalis, as we mentioned before, the Somalis across the United States are definitely feeling the impact of the fraud allegations in Minneapolis.
Yeah, so basically she's saying people are being painted with a broad brush. What's going on in Minnesota is impacting Somalis all across our nation, including here in Metro Atlanta. It's important to note that the Department of Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem made a point of saying, as you heard me ask, that temporary is temporary, and keeping Somali nationals who are supposed to be here temporarily is not in the best interest of our nation. And she says, we are putting America first, and that's that. Tom?
Yeah, Kevin, this temporary protective status, TPS, as you discussed with Chuck Cook and the professor, provides shelter and refuge for people in countries where there's volatility, strife, political.
Another morning walk with our mom's awesome.
I'm on the top floor, so I see and hear everything. I have a bird's eye view over the encampment, and I also see and hear everything that happens in the street.
What used to be her spot to catch some fresh air has become anything but for Bea Bletzian in the building she's called home for 13 years. Just south of downtown Minneapolis, behind this old brick building on East 24th Street on a city-owned lot, it's easy to see why.
How soon do people who live here make contact with the city to say, hey, this has got to
Oh, immediately.
And what's been the reaction from the city at this point?
A joke.
Bletzian and some of her neighbors sat down with Alpha News to detail the nightmare they've been living these last 4 weeks.
It blows my mind that anyone would think it's okay to put this here, this harm reduction encampment where people are being enabled to use and to overdose. We've had, I think, like 5 overdoses already so far. And the level of crime that is happening here, people being threatened at gunpoint multiple times, shootings happening here. So much is going on. It just blows my mind in such a short amount of time.
Some of it is just too loud. I had to mute that. Let's go back here.
I'm asking No, you don't ask me nothing. $2.25 million. Get out.
Are we the only community that does fraud?
How come they said this building was closed? Do you guys know where Advanced Mobility is?
Advanced Mobility?
Yeah, we're looking for it. Never heard of it?
They know we're shining the light on the fraud, and they have no defense.
Nick Shirley, the independent journalist who says he's exposed $110 million in alleged Minnesota fraud, has just dropped another bombshell video claiming he's finding another $16 million in the state's welfare programs. This time, the alleged fraud uncovered is hundreds of fictitious transportation companies. With that, Sandy Rios is joining us, the host of the Sandy Rios 24/7, and Bill Caruso, Democrat strategist. Thank you both for being on. This is serious stuff, and I know it kind of gets a chuckle a little bit because you have a 23-year-old
Let me go see who's at the door while you watch
independent
this.
journalist, but he has really helped the state, the federal government uncover a massive amount of alleged fraud that is now being investigated. Talk to us about this latest video, Sandy. You saw some of the clip where he's walking through the halls and he asked about this transportation company, and a guy walks by and he says, "Never heard of it," and allegedly it's been there for more than a decade.
Well, Sean, honestly, I don't see anything funny with it. I'm sorry, my sense of humor is dead on this. Nick Sorter has so much courage. It's amazing. And he has uncovered now, I think they have 90 companies in Minnesota that are fake transportation companies that are supposed to be taking these children to these fake daycares. And some of the cars are just sitting out of the lot. There's no tire tracks because they never leave. And they've checked out dozens of the locations, the addresses. And like the daycare centers, no one's there. They're not there. They are stealing. And most of this is Somali owned, almost all of it. So then we have the threats to Nick Sorter and to his partner, Bill. I think Bill has uncovered all of this stuff. He's been researching this for 10 years, he said. So now Nick and his partner, Bill, have been threatened by the Somalis, physically threatened, and they are stealing millions and millions and millions of dollars from our treasury.
Are you asking? Let me just be real clear for the viewer, because it's Nick Shirley and David. Are you referring to?
Sorry. Yes, yes.
Okay, I just want to be very clear. Yeah, okay. Good.
Yes, thank you for correcting me. Yeah.
Sure. And Bill, let me play this for you. This is Shirley uncovering about the fictitious transportation company's alleged fraud here. Watch this.
If you have 800 companies in Minnesota that are NEMT companies, they all own 20 vehicles, and they're all making 10 trips a day, and it's $50 per trip. So it's 800 times 20 times 10 trips times $50 a trip. Do the math. And the reality is, how many of these trips are being provided? Zero.
So in this, Bill, this obviously ties into the alleged fraud that was uncovered in his first video. We saw the tanking of the reelection campaign of Governor Walz. Obviously, there is a major outcome to this, and it's not just from a political standpoint. There are Minnesotans that are wondering where their money went, and this is very, very concerning for the state and other states as well, Bill.
Yeah, there are American citizens that want to know where their money's going. And this is federal taxpayer dollars, allegedly, that have been misappropriated here. A couple things, though, and I'm just going to caution viewers here. Good for this young man for out there doing what he's doing, but we don't know that this is absolutely verifiable. These are allegations right now, and there have already been some charges that some of this stuff going to daycare centers, on a Sunday when they weren't in, that may have not been a smoking gun. But nevertheless, it should be investigated. Moreover, it looks like this has been a continuing investigation that's gone on. This fraud was first uncovered as a result of the pandemic spending, right? It was first uncovered in 2020. It's continued, it was prosecuted with Merrick Garland in 2022 under the previous administration. Good news, the current administration is digging in on more. We should go after every penny. Every dollar that is being stolen here right now could be benefiting an American citizen, could be benefiting people that really need this, rather than padding the pockets of folks, regardless of where they're from. Somalis, there was an American citizen involved, a United States white female American citizen that was benefiting from.
Some crazy stuff, ain't it? There was one other thing I wanted to touch on, if I can pull it up here. In our town, I was covering it the other day about the politics and corruption happening in our school system. And we're seeing the head of the snake is the Kaplan dynasty. She refuses to step down. Let's see, is it going to let me pull it up here? Hang on a minute, let me find this. Can y'all hear me? Okay, let's see. I want to see the news. And I want to see the headline for yesterday's paper. Hold on a minute. They weren't made to take it down. I'm going to share the screen. We can look for it together. It was local. And it was the cover of yesterday's paper. I'm going to have to research it. I thought it would just pop right up, but I guess their e-edition is different than their paper. They don't want us looking at it without paying for it. I'm not going to give them any more view then. All right, we'll change gears and watch this about this Hollywood weirdo real quick. And then I'm going to close out and hopefully grab some breakfast.
Two counts of criminal sexual contact with a minor and one count of child sex abuse against 11-year-old twins, okay, boys, while on the set of a TV series. That's when they say this happened. He was directing, and this is what happened. BuzzFeed denies those claims. Today, a third accuser came forward. A girl who was 16 at the time alleges that during an audition, BuzzFeed kissed her, put his hands down her pants, and touched her. So this is a case of he said, she said. What is the basis of proof for the allegations? Because this is not the
Some
court
viewers
of
may
public
find the following
opinion.
video disturbing.
I will
Viewer
tell you this.
discretion is advised.
Hearing about someone abusing young boys and girls happens.
Hey, rapper, haven't seen you in a while, man.
Let's see what the
Hey.
case is. News Nation legal contributor, host for a new 11 p.m. show, Jesse Weber, joins me now. What makes you believe this is not just people saying things that aren't true because they thought BuzzFeed was going to settle and then they went to the police?
Hey,
Yeah, it's a
Tiny
good
T,
question.
good to
This is a
see
little
you.
murky, right? So to be clear, the charges are based on the boys alone. The 16-year-old girl, the father who came forward, that's used by prosecutors as additional support for why he should be locked up and not be granted bond. That's going to be an issue that's decided in a few days. Look, at this point, it's mostly based on these young children's account. They were interviewed. You had a doctor who diagnosed one of the boys with PTSD and anxiety. The way they described what allegedly happened to them specific. I think that matters. Now, here's where it gets complicated.
Still
When these
trying to
boys were
figure out
interviewed in
this
2024,
overlay
They
thing.
initially didn't say that they were sexually assaulted. Warner Brothers, that was
Appreciate y'all
overseeing
coming
this
in.
production, hired an outside law firm to do their own investigation. They found no corroborating evidence that he did anything inappropriate. And also, I should note, his attorney came out and said that Busfield actually conducted a polygraph examination and passed. Now, you and I both know polygraphs, little like reliability issue, but still compelling. And then the way you started it, he goes on camera before he surrenders himself to authorities and basically denies the allegations. What criminal defendant who knows whatever they're about to say can be used against them would do that? So it's very strange right now to determine what happened here several years ago.
You think they charged just on the basis of what the two alleged victims said? Or do you think that they had something there to corroborate, or they're going to work on that now because probable cause?
You know, at
the
first I
witness
wasn't
statement is
sure,
enough?
but this goes
When you
back
read the court
years, they
documents, right,
say.
they seem to base this
Hey,
on a
no
number of
lies.
factors.
Good to
One,
see ya.
the accounts of the boys.
Thank you so much.
Two,
I appreciate
who
y'all.
interviewed them, medical professionals.
Thank you.
Also, by the way, I don't know if everybody knows this, one of the things that they talked about
I love
was Tim
Jesse
Busfield has
Weber.
been
He looks
accused
like
of this in the past. A little
Johnny
bit different.
Bravo.
There was one accusation from the 90s, another one from 2012. He's been very aggressive at fighting these allegations in the past. And one of the notes that was put in by the officer that conducted this investigation said, in his opinion, it looks like somebody who has the power of that producing position got himself onto that set and abused it and took advantage of these young children. And I think a lot of these cases are based on purely the account of the accuser. And here, two young boys backed up by their parents. But if you have medical professionals who are documenting it as well, this is what separates this case.
Is it as simple, not easy, but is it as simple as, do you believe what they say or do you believe what he says? What is the X factor?
Well, here's the thing, right? There's going to be no, at this point, forensic evidence to support this. Busfield was interviewed by investigators back in the day, and he basically admitted, yeah, I had a playful environment. I touched them,
So he sort of
wrestled around,
admits
hugging
it.
them. And that's
Hey,
where it
Artsy,
becomes
good to
murky.
see
If this
ya.
goes to trial, clearly it
He's a
seems that
cutie
Busfield wants to
patootie.
take the stand, tell his side of the events. And it is, like you said, one side versus the other. What is credible, what is not? Now, it is interesting that on Tuesday, the father
I
of this
still
16-year-old girl
follow
came forward with this
Melissa
allegation.
Gilbert.
What
I
are we
do.
going to
I
see now
still
in the next week?
follow
Are
her.
we going to see other people coming forward against
She
Timothy
actually had a
Busfield?
really good,
That's going to be something that we have to be on the
channel.
lookout for whenever you
I think it
deal
was called
with a
Prairie
high-profile
Girl.
person, a celebrity who's accused of sexual assault.
Okay, so we're going to go over here to, did it freeze up? Hang on a second. Let me see if my overlay worked that I just uploaded. Nope, it's still not big enough and it covers it. It's not transparent. Delete. See, this one's transparent, but it's not wide enough. It's not big enough. But it's pretty, isn't it? Especially when I use my pink background, it looks pretty good. That looks pretty good. That's not bad. I don't know. I'll just keep playing with it. That's one thing I've never mastered was the overlay. It's very aggravating. I would love someone to help me, but that's okay. I'll figure it out. Well, how do I stretch it though? Every time I do it, it seems to miscombobulate it. I don't know. I'm doing it in Canva. Just make one to fit YouTube. There isn't one. It says Twitch. It doesn't give you a YouTube size. It would be like StreamYard because I'm using StreamYard. Do you see what I'm saying? And it doesn't specify. It says for Twitch on Canva. So Anyway, I'll figure it out. It's weird because we used to make them all the time when me and Sarah and Chaotic were over at Jimbo's on the stand, but I can't remember how the hell I did it. Canva. What are you using? You don't understand, obviously, and it's okay because it is confusing. When you go to use Canva, it does not give you the option for YouTube because I'm not going live through YouTube. I'm going live through StreamYard. So I would need it to fit the StreamYard screen, not the YouTube screen. Does that make sense? So, and when I type StreamYard, it's not an option. I'll figure it out. Anyway, I remember making them with Stone Gator, and I remember me and Sarah made a couple of them, but I can't remember how I did it. And it's been, a good year since I've been going live on the desktop, so I just got to play around with it, and they should be the same size. You use the YouTube video size. That's what this is. And it's only fitting around my black box, not the entire StreamYard screen. And like when I, where did it go? Media assets. Like this, it only covers the black box. See what I mean? I don't know. I'll figure it out. I always do. Yeah, that's the only option it gives you. Go to Canva. You'll see. It doesn't give you the option other than Twitch. Yep. It doesn't say StreamYard, and that's what I'm using. Hold on a second. I'm going to put some ointment on my finger. I've got a burn on my finger. It hurts. Okay. Can I still hear? Can I still hear? Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what happened to him. No. Resize as a YouTube video and save as a PNG. So, okay, I will do that. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Big time. I even cheated and went and used up all the water to make one through ChatGPT. I was like, I can't figure it out. Just make me one. And that's how I got these, was ChatGPT, because it never would work for me on Canva. So the ones that I've used while I've been live, they cover the whole picture. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I mean, not like stretches, but it covers it. It's not transparent. Does that make sense? Yeah, the water, man. You can do custom size also in options. Okay. Thank you so much, Mr. Nobody. You're somebody here. Woo, to Mr. Nobody. Have you made any new memes lately? I haven't seen you make anything new lately. We love your stuff. Be nice to see you make some more. Gypsy, you do beautiful art on here with all this computer stuff. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. I really enjoy it. I really wish that this could be my source of income. But like right now, I'm literally $2 away, one membership away from meeting my threshold. Yeah, so it's I switched to music. Oh, did you really? Okay. Okay. I wish that I could show you all this story that's happening here locally, and I'm not sure why I can't access it from here. But we're gonna look at this real quick. So let me share the screen. We're gonna talk about this next. Hopefully it's a video. Let's see if I can find it in video form. Give me just a second while I look for this on video on the other screen here. Had to turn my heat off. It's getting hot in here. We've got this little room size fireplace, and it gets hot. I paid $10 for it at a yard sale. It's just a little fireplace. It gives off the glow and all that, but it also puts out the heat too, man. Okay, let's see. Let me go back here to what I wanted to show you. We were talking earlier about, one of you guys mentioned Half Pint. Do y'all remember this? She was with Rob Lowe back in the day, and this happened.
Match with a local TurboTax expert at our new.
I'm a cheapskate. I don't pay for the non-commercials.
Rob Lowe has had some twisted lows, yet few people know about the day he hit.
Do y'all remember this?
One day, Lowe proposed to his girlfriend, Melissa Gilbert. But when Gilbert told him she was pregnant, his reaction was absolutely brutal. The full story is coming up. Teen idol Rob Lowe has had his share of Hollywood highs and lows. This self-proclaimed man of no regrets certainly has a lot of them to choose from. There's the Oscar debacle, the nannies, and of course, the infamous tape. But what's really hiding behind the strong jaw and piercing blue eyes? Robert Hepler Lowe was born in Virginia on St. Patrick's Day in 1964. After a couple of divorces, Lowe's mother, a teacher, followed her third husband to California.
Do y'all
brought
remember
her two
this?
young sons, Rob and Chad, with her. This move to La La Land put Lowe in a position to meet all kinds of Hollywood types and help him find his calling as an actor and a man about town. Growing up in Los Angeles and attending Santa Monica High School.
What do you mean redo my channel description? What do you mean? And channel tags. What is that? I don't think I know what you mean. I think I've got the most in-depth description of my channel and honest. I know, right? It is cold.
Lowe met a family that would be influential in his future.
Thank you,
in
by the
many
way,
ways.
Mr.
Martin
Nobody.
Sheen, most famous for starring in Apocalypse Now, was the father of two of Lowe's classmates, Charlie Sheen and Emilio Estevez. Lowe became friends with the two young boys and even with Martin himself. In addition to the Sheens, Lowe's friends included future stars Sean Penn and Robert Downey Jr. Lowe also managed to make the acquaintance of the daughter of a Hollywood legend. He was friends with Cary Grant's daughter, Jennifer Grant, who went on to appear on Beverly Hills 90210. With all these stars around him, it wasn't long before Lowe landed his first celebrity girlfriend. Melissa Gilbert was a child actor known for
Here we
playing
go.
Laura Ingalls on the immensely popular and family-friendly Little House on the Prairie. It should have been a tender teenage romance, but instead, it was a living nightmare. Lowe became the bad boy counterpart to her saintly persona. While the two dated through much of the 1980s, their relationship was the source of a whole lot of drama and heartache. As Rob Lowe was finding his feet in Hollywood, he took a part in a music video for the band The Go-Go's. In the video, Lowe plays a young, good-looking high school student
I
who
don't
gets a
remember
lot of
this.
female attention. It wasn't exactly an
Y'all remember
acting
this?
stretch for
Oh,
Lowe,
okay.
but bigger and better things were coming his way.
Channel tags are in
Rob
the
Lowe's
section.
big acting break was a coveted role in Francis Ford Coppola's film adaptation of The Outsiders.
I don't know what you
a
mean by
classic
channel
tale about
tags.
greasers from the wrong side of the track. Coppola wanted Lowe and his co-stars to see what that life
Okay,
was really
thank
like.
you.
So he dropped the actors, including Tom Cruise and Emilio Estevez, at the homes of people who'd been greasers as kids. But Lowe was going to be
I
more
hibernate,
inspired
no
by
lies.
watching an already famous
I
co-star.
hibernate.
Before filming The Outsiders, most of the cast, like Lowe, were unknown actors, but not Matt Dillon. Dillon had appeared in a few films and had crazed fans waiting for him in the lobby of the hotel the actors were staying in. One day, Lowe saw Dillon pick up a female fan from the group and take her to his room. It was then and there Lowe decided that Dillon was his new hero. Probably not the best role model considering what happened to Lowe over the next few years. While filming The Outsiders, Rob Lowe and his teenage co-stars had a lot of
Do any of you
freedom.
guys remember this?
Lowe remembers that after a long day on the set, they would get into a van and go back to the hotel. Usually, teamsters who worked on the set were driving and would
Hey,
throw
Rabbit.
some beer back to the underage actors.
Good to see ya.
As we'll see, this early drinking had a major effect on Lowe's future.
The channel.
In the 1980s, Rob Lowe and a collection of his acting peers got the nickname the Brat Pack. Mostly, they were Gen X actors
Okay.
who partied a lot and appeared in angsty coming-of-age movies.
Oh, do you really?
Lowe
That's
appeared in St. Elmo's
fantastic.
Fire alongside Demi Moore, which planted him squarely in the center of
That's
the pack.
fantastic.
But partying Brat Pack styles soon got way out of control. At that time, actors like Emilio Estevez, Judd Nelson, and Lowe himself ruled both the screen and the clubs. New York Magazine called the Brat Pack a roving band of famous young stars on the prowl for parties, women, and a good time.
That was a good movie.
They lived a life of excess and were constantly surrounded by adoring women. Lowe in particular was getting so much female attention that he didn't know what to do with it. New York
He was with
Magazine's
Melissa
David
Gilbert
Bloom was
in
the
the
one who coined the
80s
term
and
the Brat
90s,
Pack
and he
after
had his
spending
own
a night
little
watching Lowe and
scandal
his
that her
buddies holding
husband's going
court
through
at
right
the
now.
Hard Rock
Remember that?
Cafe. He witnessed a continuous parade of girls approaching their table. As Rob Lowe later said, it can be hard enough just to be in your teens and 20s. Then add fame, money, access, and every single person telling you that you're the greatest person who ever was, and it can be a recipe for disaster. Well, disaster was on the way. While Rob Lowe was filming Hotel New Hampshire with Jodie Foster, he started an
I
affair with his
know,
slightly
right?
older co-star Nastasia Kinski, who happened to be the daughter of the legendary actor Klaus Kinski and a European model. One day, Lowe's girlfriend Melissa Gilbert called the hotel and received a devastating shock. Operator told her that she could find Lowe in another room, Kinski's room. Gilbert went ballistic and got on a plane to confront Lowe face to face. Lowe had no good reason to explain why he was staying in Kinski's room. To deal with the problem, Gilbert checked into the Cast Hotel, where she and Lowe spent 15 hours of crying,
15
screaming,
hours.
talking, making love, carrying on, and laughing.
Oh my God.
Geez, I hope they weren't within
Holy
earshot of
cow.
anyone needing a good night's sleep.
No, but I
Even
will.
after this reconciliation, Lowe was not
love
done
James
with his cheating
Spader.
ways. Once it was clear that Lowe was going to be a success, his dating options opened wide up. Lowe briefly dated Princess Stephanie of Monaco, who was Grace Kelly's daughter, but this womanizing was more like a game to Lowe. In fact, he practically turned it into a sport. Years later, Lowe bragged about stealing women from Duran Duran singer John Taylor. Nastasia Kinski was one of them, and Lowe hinted that there were others. It seemed like it was a bit of a competition between the rocker and Lowe.
Damn.
But through
I
all
didn't
these
know that.
flirtations, Lowe still had Melissa Gilbert to think about. The list of women connected to Rob Lowe is long.
I will do that today.
Highlights include
I'll watch it
Iran-Contra
today.
scandal figure Fawn Hall, actor Marley Matlin, Winona Ryder, and debutante of the decade Cornelia Guest. In fact, there were rumors that he had affairs with all of his leading ladies. But what about poor Melissa? Lowe's next project was Brat Pack romance film About Last Night, and he thought it would be a good idea to have his real-life girlfriend Melissa Gilbert co-star. Maybe this way he could keep himself in check. Gilbert auditioned for director Ed Zwig, but lost the role to Demi
Here is the
Moore,
link
and
to this whole
what Zwig told Gilbert was
documentary
brutal.
thing.
He said he made the casting decision because Lowe and Moore
I am
just
too. It sounds
looked
good. I
so
love
good
James Spader.
together. Now that had to hurt. To absolutely no one's surprise, Lowe and Demi Moore hooked up during the filming of About Last Night. Moore writes in her book that she only vaguely remembers their one-night stand, as she was dealing with a substance abuse issue at the time. When asked about the affair with Moore, Lowe would only say a gentleman never kisses and tells. I wonder if his girlfriend would have considered this response gentlemanly. When Gilbert got wind of Lowe's night of passion with Moore, she set her sights on revenge, but she was stuck in the middle of Texas making a movie about horses. She didn't find any suitable options in her co-stars, so she chose a third assistant director. Now it was Lowe's turn to get jealous. However, instead of flying into a rage and getting on a plane to stop her affair, what did Rob Lowe do?
Sound too low?
What
Here's how to fix it.
Don't
Open
leave
the
me
sound
hanging, lady. What the hell did he do? He didn't do nothing. He went and got another girl.
He wrote a letter. Remember those? Doesn't sound like he thought this was a super urgent problem. Even though this was a lame attempt to reunite with Gilbert, it worked. They got back together, but the drama was hardly over. The Academy Awards of 1989 will go down in history as having the worst opening number, in part thanks to Rob Lowe. The musical number featured an actress playing Snow White and Lowe as Prince Charming. Opinions about the musical number were not flattering. It was said that the only thing flatter than the number was Lowe's singing voice. Around this time, Rob Lowe took an interest in politics and wanted to get involved. At the time, Michael Dukakis was running for president, and Lowe, who was only 24, decided to sign up as a campaigner.
Oh, give
This
me a
ended up
break.
being a disaster for both the candidate and Lowe. Dukakis lost to George H.W. Bush, and Lowe, well, he got into some serious trouble that nearly ruined his career. While in Atlanta working on the Dukakis campaign, Lowe, maybe still inspired by his old castmate Matt Dillon, met two young female fans and
Oh,
walked
here
into
we
his hotel
go.
room. The girls agreed to let Lowe videotape their rather intimate
I know.
time
Same
together.
here, no lies.
The morning after, Lowe woke up to a massive hangover and no girls, but that wasn't the most disturbing part. The steamy videotape was also gone. If you think things couldn't get worse, think again. It turned out that one of the girls Lowe had brought home was only 16 years old, making the encounter and the videotape unlawful. Back in Lowe's day, videotapes of celebrities and their bedroom indiscretions were few and far between. This was a new phenomenon, and Lowe was about to find out how much damage a videotape like that could cause. There was no going viral back then, but there was something maybe even worse.
That's a smart idea,
Racy
Mr.
film king Al
Nobody. Thank
Goldstein
you.
got hold of
I
the tape and
appreciate
was soon
that.
selling it to anyone with $30 in their wallet.
Hey, can I have a biscuit?
Once the tape was out there and people had seen it, Rob Lowe's fans turned on him. Soon, the mainstream film roles basically dried up for him. Lowe's drinking was now getting out of control, and it seemed that things couldn't get any worse. Surprisingly, there was something good coming his way.
It's making me hungry.
During this dark time in Lowe's life and career, he became reacquainted with makeup artist Cheryl Burkhoff. Lowe had met Burkhoff years before on a blind date arranged by Emilio Estevez, but something was different this time around. Lowe was looking to change his reputation, and what better way than with a solid relationship? Lowe and Burkhoff dated for a couple of years, and eventually they were ready to tie the knot. There was only one obstacle. Lowe's drinking. He blamed the videotape incident on his problem, but still had yet to get completely sober. Burkhoff made a heartbreaking ultimatum. She told him that she wouldn't marry him until he stopped drinking.
Thank you.
In 1991, Rob Lowe went into rehab and got sober, and then quickly got married. So now his life was in order, no booze.
Can I ask your opinion, Mr. Nobody, please? What would you categorize my channel? I mean, what genre am I? A vlogger? My son says I'm a vlogger. I'm not real sure what I am, you know? Because these to me are like podcasts. And then it says, ask chat to make a list of channel chat tags to go with that.
Booze and a supportive partner. Sounds kind of boring for Lowe, but don't worry. Lowe was a brat packer to the end, and he couldn't completely stay away from the drama. The hit TV show The West Wing brought
Okay,
new
thank
life
you,
to
White
Lowe's
Rabbit.
career. Audiences loved seeing Lowe on the small screen, and he received a Primetime Emmy nomination for his work. The West Wing also allowed him to work with his childhood father figure, Martin Sheen, who played the president. Sadly, having established stars like Sheen around made life on The West Wing difficult for Lowe. When the West
That's
Wing
what I
started, the
wanted when I
central figure
first
was Lowe's
started
character,
this, was I
Sam
wanted to
Seaborn.
be the YouTube
Unfortunately,
Oprah,
the
and
show
then it kind of got
attracted more and more
sidetracked with
famous
trolls.
co-stars, and the producers wanted
And it
to
went
focus
south ever
a little
since.
less on Seaborn and a little more on the characters portrayed by people like Martin Sheen and Stockard Channing. This did
I
not
did
sit
land
well
some
with
pretty
Lowe,
good
and he quit.
interviews my first year.
Lowe moved on
pretty
to other
proud of.
projects, but controversy continued to follow him around. While working on the TV show Lion's Den, Lowe was keen to get singer-songwriter Jewel to be a guest on the show. Jewel was up for the acting, but she refused to kiss the former teen heartthrob on the show.
Thank you, No
Producers
Lies. I
of Lion's
appreciate
Den
you.
tried to convince Jewel to kiss Lowe. Jewel reluctantly gave in, but then tried to get the show to delete the scene. Lowe, along with the producers and fans, couldn't understand Jewel's behavior. The answer to this riddle would finally come up over 10 years later. Rob Lowe appeared alongside then-Governor
I love
Arnold
your channel,
Schwarzenegger
White
in
Rabbit.
ads
I go
promoting
to it a
California
lot
tourism.
for reference.
It's
I really
unclear how
do.
much time Lowe spent with
Your
the
cleaning
muscle-bound
and your
governor,
shopping,
but it could be that Arnold,
I enjoy that kind of
later caught in a
stuff.
relationship
Like I
with his
follow the
housekeeper,
hillbilly.
was a bad influence on Lowe.
What's her name? The
You
hillbilly.
see, things at the Lowe household were about to blow up
She
too.
does prayers at the end of
Lowe
her
and his
channel.
wife Cheryl sued 3 members of their household staff, 2 nannies and a chef, for violating confidentiality agreements. But this lawsuit was just the fuse that ignited a scandalous fire. After Rob Lowe and his wife sued the nannies and the chef, the Lowes received 2 counter lawsuits. There was one from each nanny, and their claims were shocking. The young women alleged all kinds of nastiness against both Lowe and his wife. One said that Lowe had put his hands on her and also exposed himself to her.
What?
Another
I
claimed
gotta
that
back this
Burkhoff
up.
had made
What?
a racially charged comment. The chef, the Lowes received 2 counter lawsuits. There was one from each nanny, and their claims were shocking. The young women alleged all kinds of nastiness against both Lowe and his wife. One said that Lowe had put his hands on her and also exposed himself to her. Another claimed that Burkhoff had made a racially charged
Thank you,
comment
Rabbit.
about the nanny's boyfriend. The topic became so intense that Lowe had
Yeah, I'll
to ban
grab
it
it
from
for you.
discussion in any interview he did. And then, when it looked like things could not get any worse for Lowe, something he never expected happened. A Santa Monica Superior Court judge dismissed 2 of the charges against Lowe and his wife. After that, their respective lawyers had all the other lawsuits dismissed. So, what happened? Was a payoff involved? Your guess is as good as mine. Either way, it was over and Lowe was ready to move on. In 2015, Lowe was the target of a Comedy Central roast, and Jewel was ready to tell the world why she refused to kiss him so many years ago. The singer finally revealed that it was because she knew where his mouth had been. This could only be a reference to the teenage girl Lowe had been with on the videotape. That tape was out to haunt him again, so Lowe decided to set the record straight and somehow made things even worse. Years after the infamous videotape was
Here's
released,
Rabbit's link.
Lowe made an outrageous remark. He said that he didn't regret making the tape because it helped him get serious about his life. He said it was the best thing that had happened to him. Nothing about the young woman.
Same
and how
here.
it may have
I have
affected her,
ADHD. I get
and
bored with
nothing
one
about
thing
breaking the
easy.
law. With a career that has seen many ups and downs, Rob Lowe has had more than a few major accomplishments, one of which is his inclusion, along with Elvis, James Dean, and Michael Jackson, on People magazine's top 10 teen idols of all time. When asked about it, Lowe said, "I'm proud of that. It's cool." Clearly, women loved the charming Lowe, and his good looks had a lot to do with it.
So, if you are
In the 1980s, actor Rob Lowe was a handsome movie star, hotshot heartthrob, dater of princesses and Hollywood it girls. But he often saw his good looks as a negative thing.
Rob Lowe blames a lot of his problems on being too pretty.
Is he a genuine talent, or is he, as what many of us have seen, just a pretty boy?
Lowe was
Thank
the
you,
fantasy
Mr.
pinup of
Nobody.
most teenage girls.
Wait, I'm gonna
until
tell
he
you
gets
why
caught in an
I
unscripted
don't
role
tag
that
other
is def-
channels. I got my ass chewed out for tagging my mods by Jimbo when I was modding for him. He chewed me out. So I stopped tagging other channels on my posts. I thought I had done a faux pas, you know, so it's ridiculous to try to grow in a troll community. You can't. No matter what you do, if you're not the little darling, they see to it that your channel's just drung into the ground.
definitely not suitable for teenage viewing.
These allegations are, when taken together in the legal system, are really characterizing Rob Lowe as a serious sexual predator.
The evidence on tape probably does put Rob Lowe in a weak position.
The X-rated scandal obliterates
Okay,
Lowe's
I
career.
will. The incident was a wake-up call for Rob, personally and professionally.
This is where this phrase, "what were they thinking," was coined.
For a celebrity, image is
hear
everything.
ya.
But when that image is destroyed, can it be rebuilt? You be the judge. Celebrity damage control.
I'm going to get up here to the Melissa Gilbert part. I don't really care about him dating Liza Minnelli. I want to get up here to the Melissa Gilbert part. Here we go.
Guys.
They feel they are in invincible as many young people do, but they are exposed to so much more as far as temptation, as far
Okay, I
as
gotcha.
drugs, as far as sex. And it can turn into something that can be very, very destructive for their lives, not just then, but later on.
By now,
think
Rob is in a
I
long-distance
always
relationship with
understood
Melissa Gilbert, star of
what it
Little
meant
House on
when
the
someone
Prairie.
said, "Oh, you
But
should
that doesn't
tag
stop him from
yourself." I
enjoying
don't
the
even know what
company
you're talking
of the
about.
frenzied groupies hanging out at the hotel. Rob later admits that drinking helps him manage any guilt he feels about betraying his girlfriend.
What we find with the addictive personality is
dating is
instead
the
of
right
dealing with the guilt, instead of dealing with the emotional turmoil, knowing that what you're doing is wrong, you stuff it down. You stuff it down with pills, and in Rob's case, he stuffed it down with alcohol.
It seems the testosterone-heavy dynamic on the Outsider set only fuels Rob's overly macho behavior.
The castmates were friends, but they were also fiercely competitive. Once, when they were rehearsing a fight scene, Rob actually punched
On
Tom
that
Cruise in the
topic, I wanna
nose.
switch gears,
Tom
y'all.
lost it and started to hit back so hard that other guys.
Let me show y'all this.
Is his
Let me
inclusion
stop
along
this.
with Elvis, James Dean,
Where
and
do you
Michael
see
Jackson
this?
on People Magazine's top 10 teen idols of all time. When asked about it, Lowe said,
Hold on a second. I'm going to switch this off. Okay, it was, what is the guy, Luke and Laura? What was his real name? Luke's name? What was his name? What was his name? Because he just passed. Is it Anthony Gary? Anthony Gary. Okay, where do you see this? You will never believe this in a zillion years unless you already knew it. Okay, here we go.
Are you married or do you wish to be?
I am not married, and at the moment I am only married to my career and to my insatiable appetite for success. So if a woman came along who could support that and who I could fall in love with, the doors are open. I'm not taking cards and letters, though, folks. We're not taking applications. I don't have a big charge or need right now to be married. No.
But now, do you have a lady that you date exclusively? Have you got a steady?
Where do you hear this?
Several. Several.
Do they all know about each other, or is it kind of a?
Well, I don't know. I don't kiss and tell. They may call each other, but I don't know about it.
That's right. Lucy up in the Bronx, Tony, wants to know what kind of woman you're looking for.
Lucy, I'm not looking for anybody. I'm quite happy with my life as a bachelor. Thank you.
But what if a woman came into your life, Tony, that was so sensational, so unbelievable, who supported your insatiable desire for success? There could be a relationship, could there not?
If she had a lot of real estate.
Yeah.
Lucy, do you have real estate, huh?
Okay, this is what I'm trying to get you to find out here. He was in love with Liz Taylor.
You know, when Elizabeth Taylor showed up in General Hospital to play the devious and evil Helena Cassadine, who put a curse on Luke and Laura.
No, he's not cute at all.
Involved with the Ice Princess saga with her family.
He says the love of
There
his
was
life was
speculation and
Elizabeth
rumors
Taylor.
after she appeared that Tony Geary, who played Luke, and Taylor had three different categories. Either they dated, it was a beard, or Geary was her boy toy, or what you call younger person she could date for a couple of years. Now, this is the time she was having some trouble with Senator Warner, her husband. There was also rumors she was dating George Hamilton around the same time, too, after that marriage dissolved. Now, Tony Geary, a very good actor, but a suave George Hamilton type is not. But he was very personable. He said it was a pleasure working with Elizabeth, She had no pretension. She loved working at GH. It was a dream role. But we were hearing rumors as early as around, say, maybe 1 or 2 weeks after the fictional wedding of Luke and Laura, there was something going on with Geary and Taylor. Now, in 2010, he said to Wendy Williams show, he did have an affair with Elizabeth Taylor. Now, it wasn't uncommon for actors and actresses of the studio system to have affairs on the set with their co-stars or support staff or whatever. That was kind of de rigueur. It was a very open time. Now, for example, on Giant, there was rumors that Elizabeth Taylor slept with both Rock Hudson, who was gay, and James Dean, who was gay, on the set. And there was also rumors she had slept with Montgomery Clift, who was gay. Now, I'm not going to out Tony Geary because we all know that, he's a very, very personal views to himself about his sexuality. I'm not here to judge anybody or out anybody. But I find it kind of weird, ladies and gentlemen, that the happiest times of her life in the 1980s, when she got back to herself, were instigated by the presence of Tony Geary. Now, Tony Geary.
I have such a huge soft spot for Michael Jackson after all the documentaries I have watched about him, his mother, his siblings, what they went through. It's a wonder he made it as far as he did. I think that he was innocent in the sense that I don't think anything funny business happened. I think that he suffered from arrested development and that he just, because Corey Feldman and Macaulay Culkin both said, when you go spend the night at Michael Jackson's house, his bedroom is the size of someone's house. It had its own bathroom. It had its own refrigerator. It had its own couch. It wasn't like it was just a bed and a TV. It was like I would sleep on the couch and he would sleep in the bed, and it was never no funny stuff. And we were just kids, and there was no assuming. He didn't have to front, around them. He could just be his self. And what I remember about Corey Haim and his relationship with Michael Jackson through Corey Feldman was that he was a sincere friend that you could call on and talk to about stuff. But the fallout between Feldman and Michael Jackson was, this is Corey Feldman's alleged, what he says, what happened between the relationship was that Michael grew bored of their friendship and sort of tossed him out for new kid friends. And, but that there was never anything nefarious happening between them. It was just sort of regular old, typical stuff. You just get bored with that friend and you move on to another friend, But the whole thing with his mother, when I watched, what is her name? The real pretty one. Not Janet, but the other one. She's in a bunch of videos. Latoya. Latoya is interviewed multiple times about their abuse. And she said she would beg her mother, Mom, please let Dad sleep with you tonight. I need rest. I've got a test tomorrow. Please let Dad sleep with you instead of me tonight. I'm not getting any sleep. I've got to get this test in the morning. I got to pass it. And she would say, well, you understand that your father is sick and we have to help him with his problem. And would, pretty much put his abuse off onto the girls, Reby being the first. And eventually Janet acknowledged that, yes, he did that with her as well. And Latoya made the point, we lived in a 900 square foot house. My mom knew. My mom heard it. My brothers heard it. Everyone heard it. So, and it was one of those scenarios where she, be loyal to your family. We're the Jacksons, and don't talk about it outside of the house, and this, that, and the third. And the mother, Catherine, always seems to make excuses for anything bad. Like, I watched a couple of interviews about him being physically abused. Well, back then, that's just what we did. We would just beat him with a belt. That's just what we did, And so, and no, I bet he regrets saying that he was abused, because he wasn't abused. Joe didn't abuse him. He just, kept him in line. We didn't want him running the streets and turn it into a thug. We wanted him to be good boys, stay home. So we whipped the shit out of him, pretty much. And they would literally beg her, and that's kind of how I feel about her. LaToya did have it rough. Sorry, I got into my headspace and had to throw in some. You know what I mean? Those type mothers who turn the cheek and don't talk about it outside the home. Horrible mothers that should be stoned. We're going to watch this real quick. I hate this woman with every fiber of my being. I hate this woman.
I didn't prepare my children for the real world, and I kept them in most of the time. And then right after then, they went into show business.
What kind of child was he? What kind of little boy was he?
Michael, when he was young, he had a lot of energy.
I hate her.
Always moving
Sorry.
around, never could sit still.
I noticed you said that he used to dance to the sound of the washing machine.
Yeah, well, that's when he was a baby.
Truly?
The rhythm of the
Okay, I
washing
won't
machine,
use
because
the
it was a
word
rickety
hate.
old washing machine.
Thoroughly dislike.
And it was rickety, and when every week would have the agitators would go, you know how they go, chee, chee. So this.
I want y'all to see this house that I just described. That's why I'm playing this right here. Right there it is. Y'all see that mill house? She could hear. She knew. She begged her, Mom, please let Dad sleep with you tonight. I've got a test in the morning. Well, your father, he's sick, and we have to help him with his sickness, and I can't. You do it. So, Tag, you're it. I'll get up and make grits. You do it. I don't want to. It was disgusting.
Rickety, and
so you know that Michael heard his father doing this, right? Okay.
Well, and wants nothing but the best for his kids. I just think that the way he went about certain things wasn't the best way, but it got the job done, and that's because of maybe how he was raised, doing what he thought was best, not knowing any better. So
you tell a story in the book. One occasion you cite when you're getting out of the bathtub and he whacks you. How old were you then?
I was very young. I remember being younger than 8. Let me put it like that.
I mean, that's pretty bad.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see here. Hold on one second.
The book, you mentioned the book. You're writing this book about living with the Jackson family. What can we expect to see in?
Some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
Oh, that's a
You
good
haven't
plug
read
for a
yet.
book.
Okay.
But it's a story that we lived. I call it the life of a lie that we lived because we always had the smile for the public. But inside there was so much pain.
My father beat me, and he beat me, and he beat me. And then he threw me in the bathroom, and he closed the door, beat me with a belt buckle and a switch.
He would take guns and put them to our heads and pull the trigger all the time until the day I left home. He would take matches and burn our toes, and he would laugh, and we couldn't do anything.
You can't say no because he beats you. You can't.
She said you can't say no because he'll beat you. Listen. I'm going to replay it. She says it real softly.
Heads and pull the trigger all the time until the day I left home. He would take matches and burn our toes, and he would laugh, and we couldn't do anything.
You can't say no because he beats you. You can't. And it's bad because he would always tell me that I was nothing and I never will be nothing. And I always remember these words.
He beat me. I didn't know why, because when you're young, you don't understand. But it was because I didn't speak up and talk in school. And the reason for that is because I saw so much going on inside the house. I said to myself, I don't want to be a part of this. And I would never talk. I was so quiet and shy. The brothers would say that my father would walk behind them, not with them. And he would say, I'm not with them. He was never there when any of us were born. And my mother had 11 children, and he wasn't there. She said at any of the births. My brothers were grown, and my father would take his fist and he would punch them and knock them down the steps constantly.
Would they provoke
to this
him?
day, no, of course not. To this day, they are still afraid of my father, and they will tell you.
That's why I call it a life of a lie that we all lived. Because our parents always told us to smile for the camera and pretend as if nothing was wrong.
I should cover this again. He just brought me my breakfast, so I'm going to tune out, and I will pick this back up tomorrow if you guys are interested in the entire deep dive that I did on this. I'm with Rabbit. I don't think that he hurt anyone. I think that he was just trusting the wrong people, and they were opportunists, unfortunately. And he even said to people before his death, they're trying to kill me because I'm not selling any albums. I'm in debt. And I'm worth more dead than I am alive. So I'll catch you guys later. Thank you for coming and hanging out with me, and I'll see y'all on the YouTube streets. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thanks now. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Yeah,
I'm a nobody. I'm a loser. I'm a bum. I'm a bozo. I'm neither here nor there and all that jazz.
God, you people are fucking retarded.
Here is my dowry. Is it enough for love from the Magnum? Might I have your hand in marriage?
Please.
What?
There's too many
I got
pennies.
one case quarter.
A case quarter.
How y'all doing tonight?
Bada bing, bada boom. Get over here. Get out of here.
Go, Monty, go, 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 go!
He's got green grass in front of him. He's at the 5. Touchdown.
Thank you so much, Mr. Nobody. I appreciate you all coming and hanging out with me. If I weren't hungry, I'd stay alive.
remember tonight I found something here with you. Running by the roadside, wait up for me, I'd go anywhere that you do. Put it all out in the open, no we don't have to control it. Put it all out in the open. If it's only for a moment, it's a lifetime of emotion. Put it all out in the open. Don't tell me it's time to go. Now that we made this far, wanted to broken, never look back to the ocean. Still know you'll meet me at home. When we're lost and out of focus and we don't know where the road is, I still know you'll meet me at home. Meet me at home. When I can't decide and the fear leaves me blind, you always will lead me through. If you need me at the wrong time, throw it all out by the wayside. There's nothing that I wouldn't do. Put it all out in the open, no we don't have to control it.